Alright guys, this video we're going to dive right into this because you see the thumbnail. There's no point of having an introduction here. Oh, I have some rifles I ordered. Okay, this video is on. This video is on this nice add-on for my Shadow Hound. Let's take a look at this bad boy. Okay. Now, what we gotta do right away, gotta get these wheels on, so let's go ahead and pop them off. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I always recommend putting a little heat into these bad boys. Helps them usually slide right onto the quote-unquote axle here. Once again, a little more heat. Alright, if you are familiar with the APC for the Stinger and Vamp, this is basically their APC conversion for their own Shadow Hound. So, this is made out of their 3D printed, high quality 3D printed resin. If you're not familiar with Gridiron Studios, I like to kind of give people a quick background. Small business will understand, family business. It's a very different product, very different experience you get with their products. It's very expensive products, but it's something I don't think you can find elsewhere. I think it just brings it, for me, the Joe collecting, to a whole new experience I absolutely love. But I want to go ahead and I want to see what's involved to get this bad boy on. So, looking at it, I see that this will go into the tow hitch area. So the tow hitch I think's got to come off. And I guess this is going to clip in somewhere. Let's see if I can figure this out. Once again, I think I need to remove the tow hitch. And I'm going to remove the gun. I don't really care for that with this setup. And let's see what this is like. And I think these right here are what's going to snap into right here. Even though there's usually no instruction with Gridiron, their designs are just... Do I need these gas cans? I don't think I do. Let's take them off. The design is just so straightforward. I absolutely love it. Last time I did the APC, it literally is kind of like what you're watching right here. It kind of just comes right in. And this probably be a lot easier. I just wasn't filming. So let me stand up and do this. See what I mean? So here it is. You could see that's going to go right into there, and then this piece is going to go into there. Ah, there it is. There's always like a nice little clip sound usually with a lot of their accessories. So now, can't believe I'm saying this. Well, we're done. I mean, that's kind of it. But what a transformation this does for the Shadow Hound. And what's interesting is, well, I hate to say this, but I feel like now I need to get another Shadow Hound because now this is a 6x6, and of course I need a 4x4. So, what are the advantages to this? Well, we can hopefully, in theory, put some troops in. Jeez. I'll just take a moment, take it all in. I think we need to put it on the spinner. We need to spin this guy around. What I should have did for you guys is actually discuss the install a little more. So there is a little clippy guy up here. You press that down. Once again, as I explained, in here, that part snaps in right there. And then there's two pieces right here that snap in, and that's it. So you're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 spots, and it really is just kind of snap and play. But let's go ahead, get this thing on the turntable, and talk a little more. And before we wrap up this video, how do you not do a comparison between this new bad boy versus arguably one of my most favorite vehicles in my collection, the Gridiron Studios APC. Well, the Stinger APC versus, I guess this is an APC? Anyway, you got the Stinger 6x6, and now we have the Shadow Hound 6x6. So anyway, we have the Stinger 6x6, and of course we have the Shadow Hound 6x6 next to one another. Let's go ahead and get a better idea for size here. And what's funny, I don't know if this was on purpose by Gridiron Studios, but matching wheel to wheel, they are almost identical. I guess this is considered length, terrible dimensions. Obviously, one of the few differences between the two here is the Shadow Hound does sit lower versus the APC Stinger. Both looking killer next to one another. Ironically, you could probably fit just as many troops in both the vehicles, especially with this missile system set up over here the way they have it set up. Yeah, we had to get it next to this right here, and it is funny that they are identical almost in dimensions from what I can tell, guys. But that gives us a good idea in sizes between the two. Let's go ahead, let's wrap up this video. I don't want it to be a long video. Alright, what I also realized, now we're trying to wrap up this video, is with the 6x6 stance, I had to go back to the Earl enclosed, well, they call it the Earl, some sort of enclosed missile system. If you saw my previous video with just simply the standard Shadow Hound, I switched the upper system here to the one you saw previously, but I think with this 6x6 look here, I think the missile system kind of fits it a little bit better. So let's go ahead and wrap up the video. So pricing, per my previous video, the Shadow Hound itself, so just the standard vehicle here, is $200 plus shipping. If you want to add on the 6x6 looks, it's right around $100 plus shipping. So as I mentioned in other Gridiron Studio videos, it is expensive. I'll elaborate real quick. Point one, a lot of people, rightfully so, it's just too expensive for them. It's not even about necessarily that they can afford it or not afford it, which could be the case. Sometimes people just don't want to spend that kind of money, and I think that's more than a fair argument. For me, and I think for other collectors out there, this is such a unique setup. As I mentioned before, there's nothing from a look or a feel that you can get that I've experienced elsewhere. This is 100% Gridiron Studios, the feel, the look of what you get, whether you're, hopping up something that already exists, like a Vamp or Stinger, or now getting one of their newest and first vehicles. There's just something about them that I love. Now, here comes the other interesting perspective. Looking at this in person versus in pictures, I think I'm actually digging the standard Hound more than the 6x6. It still looks really, really cool. Put me in a dilemma, like, do I just take this thing off and go back to the standard look? Do I get just another standard Hound for the collection? I do not know. But tell me what you think I should do below. I'm curious to know. And of course, we're at the point of the video where you guys need to go ahead and smash that like button down below if you did indeed like the video. And I do want to hear what your thoughts are below. Did you scoop up one of these hounds? What are your thoughts on everything? And make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Obviously, guys, there's a lot of energy put into these videos. So people that actually want to stay in tuned, make it more, puts me in a situation where I feel more encouraged to make the videos. All right, guys, like I said, I will see you in my next video. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take it easy. I'm out. Peace.